Well, I'm back. Took a little break. Had to get away from all the madness associated with the C word. Strangely enough, there are Chinese nationals that are calling for this COVID-19 to be renamed as the CCP virus. That, it's not shocking. The whole world knows where the stuff came from. I mean, even if it was planted there originally, the spread started there. Everyone knows that. So, closing on 1 million cases, 5,700 deaths, something like that. 5,500. And President and his little council are calling the number to hit between 100,000 and 240,000. By his own words, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, he's hoping for less than 100,000 deaths, which would be great, considering. But I've done a little research, and we'll continue to do this research until this is done and well after it, starting with the 2018-2019 regular flu season. So, what I found on the CDC website, in plain view for everybody, is that I think the number is 34,200 people died last year as of the flu, as a result of the influenza, seasonal influenza. Of that 34,200, 25,555, I think is the number, were over the age of 65. So, if you do a percentage on that, it's about 74.6%, I think is what I came up with. And then you go from 40 to 64, and that number goes to 1/5. It's only like 5,500 deaths. And then it goes in half from 19 to 40 or 39. And then about 3% of the deaths were below that. But that's a regular flu. And if you're confused about the numbers and the way it's laid out, it's not surprising because they've done a great job of hiding these numbers and misrepresenting these numbers in the best way they can, I think, to create the biggest response from the public that's possible at this point. They're pushing this agenda of vaccination across the board, and I'm fairly certain that's a good bit of it. So, breaking down the percentages like that, from those that have died so far, people that are 60 and older, and this is on the CDC website again, people that are 60 years old and older make up 80% of those that have died, versus the flu at 74%, almost 75%. And I think the percentages are fairly close below that. I think we're at 16.5% or so of the deaths of the flu were in that 40 to 64, and I think in this case it's as low as 7%, 7.5%. And then below that again you have the 19 to 40, 19 to 39, whatever the number is, and I think that goes down to like 6% for the flu, and I think it's only 2.3% for the COVID-19, or as I'm going to refer to it from now on, the CCP virus, because if the Chinese people can call it the CCP virus, then so can I. So the C word will now stand for CCP. I like that. I hope you do too. Which, me. I like it. And then to the deep part of this, if the numbers aren't right, if the numbers aren't representative of the facts, and they're still pushing this agenda. It's sort of like global warming. They get caught on it and they just want to keep running with it. Or, pardon me while I kill myself with a cigarette. Or there's another reason for all this. Why increase all of your hospitals 200, 300% for something that might not get there? Why increase the amount of ventilators and masks to the thousands of percents? I mean, thousands of percent over what would normally be expected to be used. Even for this outbreak, it will be hundreds of percentages over on these stocked items. Now, again, the logic in this is we'll be prepared for the next one. We'll be a lot better prepared for the next one. But I don't know if you guys realize this, but we have this thing coming at us. Strangely enough, I think it's named C-19, Comet Atlas. It's a big one. And I think the prediction is by the end of the month, by the end of April, it'll be the brightest damn thing in the sky at night. I wonder how many people are going to react to that like it's the end of the world. I wonder how many people are going to lose their freaking mind and go on this end of the world rant, end of the world tirade, end of the world proclamation that they don't give a shit, and they start doing what the hell they want. A lot of military is being put in place. A lot of National Guard right now, but a lot of military as well. So, going along those lines, maybe they're preparing for something else. Maybe maybe it's crowd control. Maybe it's foresight into coming events, and maybe they have to get control in place before they need to totally control everything. Get us used to being in this mode before this is the new norm, at least for whatever time it takes to recover from it. Now, I did hear a similar video on survival prepping for normal people. He is, in part, I guess, the inspiration for this video because he speaks on the same subject. He calls it out as possibly believing that, not that he does or does not, but it's a definite possibility. I can agree with him. I think that the preparation may just be for the panic, though. I don't think it's for the impact. I don't think it's for effects. I think it's just the human psyche. I think the human psyche will be so affected, and so many people will be so shaken by what they see that possibly you get societal unrest just because of that. Now go imagine something half the diameter of the sun that's shining brighter than the moon. How many people are going to lose their freaking mind? How many people are going to swear that it's the end of the world and the government's hiding it from us? And how many people are just not going to give a shit what happens? Am I a prepper? Am I a survivalist? Am I crazy? Maybe I am. But I was prepared for this. I mean, as prepared as I could be. Power, water, filtration, extra food for up to a year. That's how we do. That's how you have to do. Society is a funny thing. And the mind is a funny thing. Something to think about. Something to look back on and laugh at myself about. But I'll be back.